Hello, everyone, and welcome to Astrology Talk with Mallory Key. I'm a professional astrologer and accredited with the American Federation of Astrologers, and I'm here to bring you the forecast for the next month, August 2024. So to begin, I'd like to thank all the ones who are on this call and also Cosmic Connections and their staff. And Cosmic is a store in Nashville, Tennessee, and also my teacher, Mr. Thomas Parsons. Thank you all. This is a forecast for August and it's 20 minutes, and questions are on hold for this Zoom. The birth charts are welcome to be used on this astrology talk, and they will be, it would be great for you to have your astrology birth chart for the August 1st, which is the first Wednesday, the astrology talk for the first Wednesday of each month, which will be a 45-minute forecast using your birth chart to see where these aspects are happening for you personally. This is the free online astrological forecast, and then next month on August 7th will be the 45-minute paid class for $25 per person. Okay, so we've done the introduction, and the things I'm doing for the outline are the new moon for August, Mercury retrograde, the full moon, the Lion's Gate, and other major aspects happening in August. And there is a lot, so hold on to your seats. So the first thing is the new moon in Leo. This Leo is a fire sign. It is a fixed fire sign, which means that Leo is in the middle of a season. It's actually middle of summer. And this is symbolized with the lion, and which is royalty. This is someone or some things or events that are in the spotlight when the sun and moon are together. The sun is our resource for life, and it's Leo is those who are on stage, or it could be putting something on stage that might not want to be on stage. So we might get to see and reveal things, things will be revealed. The sun and the moon are conjunct in a new moon, and a lot of people at a new moon would like to do a ceremony. It's up to you. It's whatever you feel that is you calls you for a ceremony. The new moon is called the dark moon, and this is also in mythology Luna for lunatic, and Diana and Hecate are the different cycles of the moon through the month. This is a time for going inward, and it's also new beginnings. So it's a time to manifest the things that you want to write down, the new intentions for the month, for this moon cycle, and to write them down or at least speak them out loud. So here is a picture of the chart of the new moon, and I was going to see if I can get that out of the way. So the new moon is also 12 degrees of Leo. So if we look here on the chart, this is the sun and the moon are at 12 degrees, and 2 + 1 is 3, and that's the Trinity in numerology. And so we have this fiery new moon. This is the sign, the X with the circle is actually, that's the part of fortune. So in our perspective right now, we're just going to focus on the moon and the sun conjunct together. And that happens at 6:13 a.m. Central Time. And for those of you who are in Nashville, Tennessee, you have to subtract 12 minutes to get to the city of Nashville, and that's at 6:01 a.m. So see where that falls in your own birth chart. In here, that's just the transit chart. This is showing the 12th house. So the next thing that is happening on August 4th, along everybody's waiting, kind of reluctantly maybe, but August 4th is Mercury retrograde. That's when it's been in shadow, and the Mercury retrograde actually begins on August 4th, and it's late in the evening. Now, this actually occurs at 11:56 p.m., and then you would subtract 12 minutes for Nashville, but it's where you were ever, it could be August 5th in your location. So it's at 4 degrees of Virgo as it stations to go retrograde, and it's in the sign of Virgo. Now, Virgo is a sign that is ruled by Mercury, so it feels at home there. And now it's time to revisit, review, revise, recalculate, recalibrate. It's about anything with documents, contracts, and communication. Mercury is the in the mythology, he was the messenger of the gods, and he had wings on his feet, because if the gods didn't like what he said, you don't want to kill the messenger. So sometimes he had to get out fast. And so Mercury is also our mind, our thought processes, and what we want to express in the world. It's also short distance travel as well. So be aware of travel. It could be delays, could be things happening that could cause a disruption in travel. So this is a 3.5 week period, 25 days, where Mercury will it stations to go retrograde, and it will end up being in the sign of Leo. So we have 3.5 weeks of this. And so it's time to go in, think about what you're wanting to review, what do you need to revisit. It doesn't mean necessarily not to purchase or buy things, especially if it was already in motion, but it means that you need to be more meticulous about what you are agreeing upon, contracts, verbal agreements, written documents. If you are traveling to a place, make sure you've got the itinerary or you know exactly where you're going. So, but Mercury being this retrograde motion makes us have to look inside and find out what is it that we really want to say, think before you speak kind of thing. Now, if you notice, the sun and moon are still close together, but the sun is at 13 degrees and the moon is now at 21 degrees of Leo. So it did make a little shift there. The 4 degrees is also close to Venus, and Venus is the sign of love, beauty, and money, and finances, and resources, and it's in Virgo. And Virgo is also a sign that calls us to take care of ourselves. It's a earth sign, but it's also the midwife, the maiden, the nurse, the physician, the one that can do hands-on help to heal. So, or the kind of attending to. So how are your habits? How are your, your diet? How is your exercise? The things that you do on a daily basis that take care of you personally. And it's also balancing work, because Mercury is also, given that's the ruler of Virgo, it's also about our daily work routine. So are we balanced in our work? Are we putting the oxygen mask on ourselves first before we have to launch into a work day? So in making sure that we do those things prior to take care of ourselves. Now, given that Venus is near it, we might want to have some more thoughts about our daily diet and routine and resources and what we need for ourselves. Mercury now goes direct at closer to the end of August, at August 28th, and it's at 21 degrees of Leo. So if you look here, this is going to be where Mercury is stationing to go direct, and it's at another 2 + 1, 3 Trinity. So it's backed into Leo, so now it's going to go forward again and then arrive in Virgo as well again. So it's time to, hang on. A lot of things can come in, ideas about writing and what you want to write. So it's revisiting some maybe old thoughts and things that you wanted to do with communication. Now I want to talk about the full moon that's going to happen August 19th, kind of that midpoint in the middle of August. And this is, yes, in August. It is a opposition where the moon is on one side and the sun is on the other, and they're looking at each other at that angle of 180 degrees apart. So the moon will be in Aquarius and the sun will be in Leo, as it has been. So it stayed in Leo long enough for the moon to get all the way across, and it's toward the latter part of Leo. So the moon being in Aquarius, well, what is that about? Aquarius is an air sign, and it's a fixed air sign, so that is, Leo is also fixed and Aquarius is fixed, and it was in the middle of winter. So fixed signs don't mean to be stubborn. They are just hunkered down. They're not willing to move just sporadically because they're hunkered down in the heat or the winter or fall or spring. So it just depends on where that falls in your own birth chart to know how that energy is going to manifest for you. This is also a water bearer sign. Now, it doesn't mean Aquarius is water. What it is that it's giving information to the population. It's giving communicating to the masses of people. So Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and that's a very rebellious, forward-thinking, futuristic, innovative sign. And it also wants what it wants for humanity. It's a fight for justice, and it can be rebellious, and it can also be a little stubborn as well in wanting what that justice need is, and that's for freedom and autonomy for the masses of people in society. Now, the opposite sign, as we've already talked about, is in a fire fixed, and it's the lion. So we have this air and fire, which work together. You need to have oxygen for fire to work. So this is the energy that these two are feeling at that moment. Now, the full moon in Aquarius, what do you do at this time? Well, a lot of people, again, follow your own thoughts and beliefs about this, but it's a time to release, to allow the new moon manifestation to come into your life. So it's good to let go of things, clean up, clean out. If you wanted a new car, you need to get the old one out of the driveway so you'll have rooms for that new car to be into your new space, or clean space that has room for that. Now, Aquarius full moon is at 27 degrees. And given that the 27 degree point is opposite, you see the yellow line here where the sun and the moon are totally 180 degrees exactly apart. Now, we can still feel the moon, it's August 19th, but we could feel that moon energy, the week prior and the week after as well. So I can't seem to get that to move, but just know that the 27 degrees, it happens at 1:25 p.m. Central Standard Time and 1:13 p.m. for Nashville. And I'm so sorry I can't get that to move. But the 1:13 for the Nashville. And so you want to see what department of life, and that means look at where 27 degrees of Aquarius falls in your own birth chart and where 27 degrees of Leo falls in your chart. Now, there's some other major aspects that are happening in August, and it's definitely some to look at. The Mars-Uranus conjunction that happened in July, okay, so we had a huge event. I'm just going back to that month in the past because this was a big, important event a lot of people were talking about. And it was the Mars conjunct Uranus at 26 degrees of Taurus. Well, Mars is the god of war and Uranus is the sky god. And Mars is about forging ahead and blazing trails, kind of not thinking sometimes about the consequences, but when it's confronted, it can be combative, assertive, and it could definitely cause a problem. The Uranus energy is more electricity, and it's, sudden changes out of the blue you did not see coming. So when we have Mars, the god of war, which is also police in big cities, ram into Uranus, we knew something unexpected was probably going to happen. And Taurus is about money, finances, resources. It's an earth sign. It's very grounded. But we also wondered if there was earth changes happening. But there was definitely going to be something in the sky that was going to cause a reaction on the earth. So this happened at 26 degrees on July 15th. Now, the next thing that happened was similar to this kind of Mars transiting action is that it will run into Jupiter. Mars running into Jupiter will be a different combination compared to Uranus. Jupiter is about expansion. It's a benevolent, and it's at 16 degrees of Gemini, and Mars is at 16 degrees of Gemini. So they're both together, and Jupiter expands wherever it lands. And Mars, as we already spoken, is a very assertive, fiery planet. And Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so it understands fire. And then both of these are in communication sign of Gemini. So we might expect news. We might expect things on the bigger platform because Jupiter expands. It's more global thinking. It's long distance travel. It's foreign. It can be foreign countries. So we might expect some interesting fiery flare-ups going on in the world, on the world stage. So in Gemini is our communication sign. It goes back to that Mercury, it's about communication. Now, the next thing that I'd like to tell you with that Mars and Jupiter conjunction, it's not the only thing occurring at the same time. Here in this is on August 16th, and we see Mars and Jupiter conjunct in that sign of Gemini, and I moved it over to the 16th, and we're going to see that Venus is now opposing Saturn. Okay, so Venus is love, beauty, money. It's in Virgo. It's in that, thought sign, health axis. And then Saturn is in the spiritual sign of Pisces, the water. And it's more that, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. It's about, movies, theater, Hollywood. It's also creative arts, music, drama. So it's artistic. So we might have something interesting that Venus, another benevolent, not quite as strong, is a different benevolent than Jupiter, but they're both positive energies wanting to help. And so being that it's across, Venus is across, Saturn is about structure, it's government, it's foundation, it's putting in integrity, responsibility, and it restricts wherever it lands. So we have a restrictive controlling planet opposing Venus, a benevolent. Now, if you look over at the Jupiter and Mars, they are squaring. There's a 90-degree angle between, it's pretty close to be exact, but it's, Jupiter creates that 90-degree angle to Venus, and Jupiter and Mars create that 90-degree angle to Saturn. So if you see this, it creates a T-square. That's where a T-square comes from in astrology. That's when there's a 90-degree angle involved with an opposition. Okay, so there's going to be something around August 13th to August 20th, 2024, that could also spark some interesting kind of events. So this is where, taking care of yourself, following your heart, following your intuition, or following what is right for you, can often be right for everyone. Now, before I leave that, I do want to say that there is something called the Lion's Gate, and I just showed that slide. So the Lion's Gate is talked about a lot, and it's all over internet. I would definitely search out on Google or the YouTube and find people who really get into the Lion's Gate portal. It's an 888, which is August 8th, and it's usually happens about that time every year as the peak. Now, the whole energy of that Lion's Gate portal is July 26th through August 12th. It's about a 17-day period. This is when the Earth, Sirius, and Orion's belt and the Sun are all in alignment. So if we look at this slide, we have Earth, Sun, our Sun, and then Sirius star and Orion's belt. So it's kind of like, Sirius is definitely viewed as an important star in our galaxy. And so when we hear about it, I've also known that the crown of our Statue of Liberty is actually referring to the star Sirius. And then Orion, we have the Gaza with the pyramids all in alignment with the Orion's belt. So when the Earth and the Sun and Sirius are all in alignment with that Orion belt, we have a special event in the heavens. And according to astrologymag.com, I thought this was a good quote from that website. The Lion's Gate portal is a powerful and auspicious time in astrology, offering a unique opportunity for spiritual growth, healing, and manifestation. By aligning with its energies, individuals can harness its potential to enhance their lives and step into their true power. So it may be a moment, at least on the 8th, and noticing what your thoughts are from this time period, especially building up to the August 8th, to what is going on with you. Where are you feeling you're called to be, and what are you called to do? So what to do and what does this mean for me? Well, with these aspects, and these are just the major ones coming up, there's so much to look at in astrology. But one of the things I think for us in August, and as we've seen already in July, is focus. We have permission to focus our attention where it brings joy, love, and harmony in our life. If it's not, then we get the chance to refocus, and where energy goes, that's where our attention is. So it's kind of like that saying, where our attention goes, energy flows. So watch where your attention is. Is it on the news? Is it on the media? Is it on your phone? Do you have time in your day where you do get to be off of social media and off the phone and things like that? Do you carving out for things to be with your own thoughts and self-care and breathing and doing meditation, walking out in nature, listening to the natural sounds of birds and things that are in your environment that are hopefully natural? And then what can I do for self-care? That means the small things, from eating the good foods and getting to bed earlier and trying to be in more of a harmonious rhythm. And also take extra time for travel this time period. So I hope this helps, and I really thank you for watching. Again, I'm Mallory Key, astrology.com, if you want some more information. And please join us for the first Wednesday of each month for the 25 per person class, where we look at where to find these aspects in your own birth chart to know what the energy is speaking for you in a more personal way. So thank you again. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.